My name is not Ken, and I don't have a cool car. I do have a cup of coffee, and I have our weekly Western wrap up and our first user suggestion. User, that's weird. Subscriber suggestion. Louis Lamour Flint. Happy to read any Louis Lamour. I'm going to read them all. If you want me to put one up on the list ahead of time, let me know. We'll track it down. Um, but yeah, uh, I believe it was a while back. This was recommended to me by the channel McNulty's Book Corral. I'm sorry, I forget everybody's name. I just remember your channel names. Um, anyway, this was awesome. This was the best Louis L'Amour book I read, but every time I read one, I get a little excited about it until I read another one, and then I'm fixated on that one. So we'll see as time goes on. But this was awesome. This was like almost like a superhero. It had so many different elements. Um, what can we do? But jump right into it. But first, I just wanted to say, maybe this is getting a little repetitive, but thank you for all the comments. I don't think it does anything for the algorithm per se, but it just lets me know what you guys are into, and if I'm going in the right or wrong direction. It's really helpful. And also, you hear this a lot in this like section of YouTube where people are reviewing books that everybody just wants to talk about books and have like a reading community. I'm serious. Like, I do want to talk to you about books. If you could stand to watch my videos, I'm dying to know uh, just your opinions and stuff. I'm terribly interested. And if it becomes too much for me to handle, I'll say something crazy and we'll lose half the subscribers and carry on. So anyway, here we go. Louis L'Amour, Flint. So originally, this man, whose name is not Flint, it's something Kettleman. We'll just call him Kettleman. I think he's Jim Kettleman or something, or he turns into Jim Flint. But let's just call him Kettleman. He's like a financier on the East Coast, and he's like one of the more wealthy guys. And he made all his money, I guess, manipulating like trading like cattle, grain, whatever. And he was like really slick like that, and that world is like really tough, and so he's a tough guy. But on top of that, he's an orphan from the West. But when the guy that he was taking care of him, it's like pretty loose. It definitely wasn't his father. Is murdered. He leaves, and he eventually like makes his way out east, and you know becomes his own man. But ends up becoming diagnosed with cancer in the city, and then goes out to New Mexico to die because that's where he's from. And he has a hideout because the guy that took care of him was like an outlaw basically, and so he's going to go back to the hideout and live out his last days. The hideout is pretty cool. It's in this they call it a lava field, so it's the old magma hardened, and then there's like different pathways through it, but you can't just walk through the I guess it's called obsidian. You can't just walk through it because there's like pockets, and you could fall through the pockets, and it's like razors and knives when it breaks. So if you fell through there, you would just get impaled by the rocks and get trapped and die or whatever. But he knows a way to get horses through, and it opens up into like a big, uh, kind of like a not a big ranch, but like a small ranch. Um, they have a similar setup like that in another one of the Louis L'Amour stories, where they have like this ranch that's in between these, excuse me, two mountains, and everyone's trying to get in, and they have to protect it. Anyway, that's just a cool little setup that he has, and that's where he wants to go and die. But of course, nobody's going to let this guy just go to his little lava cave and die. You know, he can't do that. It's a Louis L'Amour story. There's a lot of work to do. Um, he stumbles upon a range war, which is basically the different interests, the railroad, the cattle, and then like these land brokers from the East Coast coming out west and trying to buy up all the land around the railroads. And then you have the cattle, the people doing the cattle using all that property anyway because there's really no one there to enforce it. So one of Kettleman's old business peers is making a push out west, and he has like a scheme to steal everybody's land. And one of these people's land is this woman that Kettleman falls in love with, but he's dying, so it doesn't really matter. And you can kind of imagine where the story goes from there. He has to help defend the ranch against the evil guy from the East Coast that's coming to steal everybody's land. And there's also there's an assassin, a tea drinking assassin, which is pretty cool because all the cowboys are always drinking coffee, and then you have this assassin, and you know he's just literally drinking tea and killing people, which is pretty awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of cool elements into this. It reads like I'll tell you the superhero part, kind of like a movie. But Kettleman comes out and he becomes this character. I think Jim Flint is the guy because Jim Flint was his like his father basically when he was a child, and he's known for being like a outlaw kind of cattle rustler, but he was really fast with a gun. So they they ended up catching this guy that was taking care of him, Jim Flint, the original Jim Flint, and they like killed him. They like held him down and killed him. And then Kettleman was there as a boy, and nobody really knows what happened except for that he brandished a pistol and shot a bunch of grown men and disappeared. But nobody really understands what happened. And so when he comes back out west and he has the appearance, he has the horse because he has the horses from the hideout, and they have the old brand from his orphan dad. Everybody thinks he's the ghost of Jim Flint and that he came back to like get his revenge. And this character is so fast with the pistol, like nobody could even come close. He's kind of like Superman. And yeah, so he turns into this like larger than life action hero, Jim Flint, and everybody's like kind of scared of him because he's walking around thinking that he's dead because he has cancer and he's dying, and then two, everybody thinks that he's a ghost. So plus there's a tea drinking assassin. The cat is at the door. I'm gonna have to open the door in a couple moments, but can you tell I had a lot of fun reading this? I've been I haven't read anything in like 2 days since I finished it, but it was a lot of fun. Um, oh man, I think it might be my favorite Louis L'Amour so far. Yeah. And so far as our Western reviews, I don't like, who cares? We could rank stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just my opinion. I like True Grit probably the most so far. So if you're looking for my opinion on Westerns, Louis L'Amour, Flint is awesome. And who was it that wrote True Grit? I have it downstairs somewhere. Um, yeah, but that book was awesome. So that's another weekly Western wrap up. Um, Check out the Junji Ito video just made previously. I think we lost a couple subscribers. There's some like scary pictures, maybe a little bit too gruesome for some people. It's okay. Sometimes we have to call the week and we carry on. Um, Until next time, I'll see you soon, guys. Find somewhere to hide, find something to read. Peace.